Childbirth classes and why they are so important when you're pregnant. Hi, my name is Heather. I am a family nurse practitioner and a midwife, and I want to talk about the importance of childbirth classes, especially with your first baby. So pregnancy can have a lot of unknowns. Everything is pretty new, and your body's going through a lot of changes. And childbirth can be very intense. There are two parts of childbirth. There is the mental and there is the physical. And both of those have to be met. So let's go through them. The mental part of childbirth is the unknown, knowing what comes up so that you don't think, oh my gosh, what is happening? Is this normal? Is this okay? Is something wrong? Normally, when we feel pain, that is a danger sign or a warning. But in childbirth, it's different. I like to compare childbirth to a marathon. You wouldn't wake up one morning, much like Barney did on How I Met Your Mother, and you wouldn't say, I'm going to run the New York Marathon today. You would prepare for it. And that is childbirth. We don't want you to go into labor unprepared. We want you to go into it having exercised your mind, exercised positions, so that you know exactly what to expect or have at least a pretty good idea, okay? We want these childbirth classes so that your mind, you know, this is the first stage of labor, the second stage of labor, active labor, transition, pushing, what to expect. Because if you can know those things, you can help remove fear and take fear out of the equation. And there is something called the fear, tension, pain cycle. If you feel fear, you will have tension. If you feel tension, you'll feel pain. Tension, fear, pain. We want to reduce that. The next one is the physical part. There are so many things that you can do to help reduce the pain of natural childbirth. From positioning, whether it's walking around, sitting, hands and knees, so many different things, to the different comfort measures that are not medical. A TENS unit, sterile water injections, water, so many things you can do. And you learn these things in a good childbirth class. Now in my practice, I tell moms, it has to be a good childbirth class. It can be online, it can be in person. It cannot be a hospital class because those typically teach you how to be a good patient. It can't be just podcasts or some YouTube videos. Those are great. I want you to watch those. But you must take a dedicated minimum 6 hours, preferably closer to 12-hour childbirth education class. And then you may ask, okay, tell me another reason why. What am I going to get out of this? I have found that every mom that has come through my practice that is a first-time mom that does not take a sufficient childbirth class, whether online or in person, ends up in a transport for an epidural. There are just too many unknowns, too many not knowing what to expect. The moms that have never had a natural childbirth but have had a vaginal birth before will greatly benefit from the class. They'll have an easier time. They're not as likely to transport, though they still can, but their births are typically faster, so they can make it through. But those first-time mamas, they really need a childbirth class to help them to prepare. So find a good class. Mighty Mama Movement Online is my absolute favorite. And there are so many in-person classes that you can take. Many of my patients will take the Mighty Mama course and one in person. So there's never too many classes that you can take. There are different styles and different methods. Find the one that fits your personality. It is important that you enjoy the class and you want to do the exercises that they have and learn from them. I hope you have a wonderful day.